Satnam, Satnam, everyone. I think we're live, but please let me know. And welcome to our astrology of the new moon in Gemini. I have to end this Zoom meeting, so I'll see you guys on YouTube. And have never gone live from the computer before. I just had a problem with my Zoom going live directly, my Zoom webinar going live directly on YouTube. However, there's a notification. Here we are. So this is totally kind of different way than I go live. And I am obviously going to be learning as I go. Hello, welcome in. I should also open this up on YouTube and see if it is here. Let's go home. So if you're here and you're watching the replay, welcome in. Again, I will mention this, that I have not gone live like this before. And so it's going to take me a minute to get all this figured out, but it says we're live. Yes, you are live on YouTube. I want to pull up the chat so that I can actually look at it as well. Anyways, if you're watching the replay, we're going to talk about the Gemini new moon, astrology, human design, and gene keys. I don't know that I'll be able to share the screen, but I am just troubleshooting to make sure that this is actually working. But am I live on Channel for Grace? Hopefully I am. Oh, now the YouTube app isn't working. So welcome, welcome, welcome. Okay, there it is. There it is. Okay. We're just going to go with it. That's so savage. Hello, hello. Welcome in. And it'll take people a little bit to come in because there wasn't a video coming into this broadcast, so nobody knew that it was actually really happening unless you were in the global community. And then you did have a notification. But welcome if you're here. It's been a while. I am not home. How's the audio? Hopefully it's okay because I can't really change anything about it. It's been a while. I just got back from Egypt a couple days ago. It has been quite the journey. Amazing. I've had the most powerful experience, and I'm integrating, I'm processing, I'm moving through understanding the experience that I had and processing it. So as soon as I'm ready to like fully share and talk about it, I will definitely be doing that in some way, shape, or form. But I'm not home yet. I'm actually at my mom's house, and I'm going to be here for about a whole nother week. So I will attempt to do live broadcasts here directly onto YouTube. And I realized that in the global community, it's okay. I'm not going to worry about it right now. They don't have the link to this video. Again, what is this button? Oh, okay, it's this. It's the link to this. Oh man, I don't think I'm going to be able to share the screen. Okay, I'm going to copy this link. Give me 1 second. So you'll just, I guess, hear me mostly talking. I'll be able to look at the chart, but I won't be able to show you guys, which is a bummer. But you know what? The most important thing about this right now is that the information goes out there. So That's what we're going to focus on. And we'll deal with the rest later. All right, there's this. Save. Hello, Courtney. Welcome in. Hello, Carmelola. Hello, Diane. Hello, Kevin. Hello, Prima. Good to see you guys. We have saved your changes to affect membership things. Okay, continue without message. Event updated. Okay, so on the event now, it should have the YouTube link for those in the global community. So we're just learning new things as we go. I also need to double check and possibly, oh, whoa. To the end of the road. Microsoft Word, Microsoft Excel message, Astro entire. I don't know that I want to share the entire screen, but we might have to do that. I can share the studio, the work software, Microsoft Excel messages, Astro. Okay, try this. Hang on. Share the screen. Select window or screen. This is so insane in the membrane. Insane in the brain. Okay. Your photos and videos are amazing. Hey, Jeanette, welcome in. I know. There's let me try this. It says allow, but I think I blocked it. Savage. What is this? Come on. Bear with me, everyone, as we navigate this craziness. Yes, okay. 1 second, because I would actually like to be able to share my screen. So accessibility, and I don't know where it went. It is crazy to be live on YouTube and not be fully ready. I mean, I'm ready. I got all the information. I'm just trying to make sure. Let's try general. All right. Well, what do you guys think? Are you cool with that? With me not sharing the screen? Are you gonna be all right? Are you gonna survive? Yeah, man. All right. Well, this is gonna be interesting. So let's talk about this freaking new moon in Gemini. Okay. So I'm just going to talk, and I'll be partly looking at the screen and partly looking at my screen. So we're here to talk about this new moon in Gemini that's happening on May 26th, which is tomorrow, basically. No, not tomorrow. Tomorrow's Sunday. Monday. This new moon is happening on Monday at 8:01 p.m. Pacific time, so at night. In terms of the degree, is happening at 6 degrees and 6 minutes of Gemini. And I actually love that because, I mean, honestly, just the fact that we're in Gemini season and that it's my birthday It's my birthday month is really exciting for me. I love this Gemini energy. Earlier today, we did a broadcast for the Starseed membership, and it was the workshop for Gemini season. And we talked about the astrology of the season. We talked about the general meaning and theme of the season. And then we looked at our charts to see where is this like Gemini energy happening in our chart. And the reason why we do that is because in the Starseed membership, sorry, my hair is making me hot. In the Starseed membership, we follow the astrological year. And the astrological year right now is obviously taking us into the third season, which is Gemini season. And so Aries would be season 1, Taurus would be season 2, and Gemini would be season 3. So in this third season, the whole energy changes, and it changes dramatically because Aries is cardinal fire, Taurus is fixed earth, and Gemini is mutable air. So if you think about it, this is the first time during the astrological year where we are encountering air. And then next season, which is Cancer season, which is basically the summer solstice, when the sun enters into Cancer, that's when we are going to experience the first water sign. So it's kind of like the young energy of air coming in. Hello, Mary, welcome in. And because of that, it is exciting. There's something about when the mutable energy comes around, it's like the energy becomes lighter, the energy becomes more flexible. So if Aries is cardinal fire, Aries was a very initiating energy. Taurus solidifies the energy, and Taurus very much felt there's always like a heaviness to the energy of Taurus. There's always it's stability. Taurus brings in stability. It is the bull, and it is the energy that we need to like move forward in life and keep the momentum going that Aries started. But now that the momentum is going, I mean, I'm sure that you guys tell me, but I'm sure that in your life, you are feeling that things are moving now. It's like the train, the Aries was the spark that got the train, the engine going. It's like heating up the engine. Taurus is the one that started kind of like steadily pushing forward, and now it's moving. So now that it's kind of on this autopilot, stable forward movement, here comes Gemini, and it lightens the energy. It's like now we can play a little bit more. Now we can see what we can create and what we can manifest, even though the initial activation of the year has already happened with Aries. Well, now we get to play, and we get to use like the magic and kind of have fun with it. And I say play because that's the energy of Gemini. It's very playful. It's very social. It's like it loves humor. It loves to keep it light. It's very quick. This is a season that is ruled by Mercury. And every time we have an astrological season, you're going to see a planet ruling that season. And you're also going to see a new moon and a full moon during that season. Sometimes there's more than two. Sometimes there's 2 new moons or 2 full moons, and it's happened. It depends on the cycle, but we'll see 2 new moons in Virgo this year. But right now we're going to see a new moon in Gemini and a full moon in Sagittarius, and the full moon is always in the exact opposite sign that the new moon is in. And sometimes the full moon comes first, which is it's an interesting energy when that happens. But this new moon is going to be ruled by Mercury, and Mercury is the planet of the mind. Mercury is the planet of communication. Mercury is the planet of quickness, fast moving energy. It's the fastest planet. It like revolves. It's the first planet after the sun. that revolves, it's the first planet that revolves around the sun, and it moves the fastest out of all of them. So he's sometimes referred to as like the little dog, the king's best friend, the messenger of the gods. And he's also known, if you think about it in Hermetic alchemy terms, he's known as the Hermetic alchemist. He is also known as the magician in the tarot. We see him as the magician. He's also, he teaches us how to use the tools of alchemy, which essentially are like the elements, and manifest, use them, bring them together. Essentially what we're doing, the process is always turning lead into gold. And it's a symbolic process of healing, spirituality, awareness, spiritual awareness. And it is through this process that we can transmute our shadows into gifts, heal from trauma, and find clarity, or heal and find awareness, or let go and release and like set ourselves free and ultimately liberate ourselves. And this happens because the alchemy that's happening is happening within us. It's internal alchemy. It's not like the things that happen outside of us. This is a concept that's been coming up a lot lately. The things that happen outside of us are happening within us. And this is part of the laws of the universe, which is part of the whole concept of Hermetic alchemy. It's as within, so without, as above, so below. It's vibration, it's energy, it's matter. And it all speaks to us in different ways. And so during this specific season, the reason why it's such a fun season is because this concept of Hermetic alchemy, which is essentially teaching us how to turn lead into gold, is the time where we get to play and see what we can create, or see what we can do, or see what we can manifest. And like I mentioned, because we go from fixed element to a mutable element, everything feels a little bit more flexible. So that's where we're at. I mean, that is basically the setup that is bringing in this new moon that's happening in Gemini. And it is happening at, like I mentioned, 6 degrees, 6 minutes. It is connected to the knees chakras, which is also about flexibility. It's also about connecting to our ancestors and understanding that we are like, we carry in our DNA codes, ancestral codes, and specifically tied to like our incarnation at this time. But now more than ever, there's quantum activation of the DNA that's happening right now in the collective. So we're also at the same time at a quantum level connecting to ancient ancestral ancestry. And so we're remembering our ancient past. We're remembering ancient stories, where we come from. And they're both doing this dance, this like interlocking energy, where we are ultimately merging. And it's like what some of us have called for a while heaven on earth, or, you know, the concept of spirit descending into matter. This is what this knees chakra really talks about. It's like, can you embody the wisdom of the ages? Can you embody the wisdom of the divine in the physical time-space reality? And can you also accept or understand or find awareness for and love and compassion for this aspect that you bring with you, not only ancestrally through your DNA in this physical time space reality, but also through past lives. This is a concept that's very present right now with this season of Gemini and with this specific new moon in Gemini. The system of the body that this moon activates is the respiratory system. And it's all about the inhale. It's all about breathing. So as you inhale, you take in life force energy. So the divine comes into your body and you can sustain that breath, hold the frequency, let the wisdom, let the energy, let the life force energy permeate through every cell of your body. And then you exhale and you let go and you surrender. But it's in the inhale that you're taking in that divine essence. And that's why this is such a really great month to do breath work, to just breathe more deeply in general, to find more awareness of your breath. And whether the breath is like shallow or whether it's expansive, the awareness of the breath is going to be huge, because if you're taking deeper breaths in, you're expanding your capacity to take the divine in. And that's why it's so important. And this moon is happening on the 16th gene key, which goes from the shadow of indifference to the gift of versatility and the city of mastery. It is part of the codon ring of prosperity, which is actually really cool. Just this, that energy of prosperity is like, wow, like very inviting. And the description of this gene key is magical genius. I actually have this gene key in my chart. It's my, I think it's in my Venus sequence, if I remember correctly. But I have this in my chart and I love it. It is the aspect of me that reminds me that it's okay to, like, let me put it this way. Sometimes in life, especially Gemini energy, can feel like you're in too many places at once. For example, there can be something that you're good at over here. There can be something that you're good at, like over here. There can be something that you're good at, like over here. And that's very much me. Like I'm good at, hello, Erica, welcome in. I'm good at a lot of different things. And sometimes it feels like, for example, like what I do, right? I merge the astrology, the gene keys, and the human design together. And that in itself is like, wow, that's a lot to try to like put it all together like that. And at the same time, for me, it makes perfect sense, because you're taking so many different things and bringing them together. And essentially what you're doing is you're gaining many different skills. And you may not ultimately master one specific thing only, but you master in the sense of like, you're good at having a lot of skills. This is what a little bit, just like a tiny bit of what this energy represents for us. But the codon ring itself is this. This codon ring is the master program in your DNA for activating true prosperity. This ring produces a high frequency, generating vast abundance across gene pools. The ring of prosperity shows that the more we diversify, that's what I was talking about, and unite our resources, the more successful and efficient we will become. Through the fusion of human talent, coupled with the power of group energy, so there's an aspect of this about coming together, anything becomes possible, which leads to the mystical secrets of the guilds, the genetic groupings of genius that, when brought together, can liberate prosperity exponentially throughout our civilization. So, magical genius. Now, when it comes to the actual astrology chart, and again, I can't show it on the screen because somehow I canceled the ability to do that. Even though it says allow, it's not really doing it. I'll talk about it. Just, yeah, lots of Vata energy for sure. I'll just talk about it. So anyways, this moon, like I mentioned, is happening at 6 degrees of Gemini. And I love this energy. The ruler of the moon, which is Mercury, is in Gemini as well during this new moon. He's at 2 degrees of Gemini. And so is Jupiter. Jupiter is also in Gemini. So there is a lot of Gemini energy, and it's very strong, and it's like solid. And it's a positive energy because another important point to mention about this new moon is that there's only one planet that is retrograde right now, and it's Pluto. And everything else is actually direct. And Pluto is one of those retrogrades where it's more common to have like a Pluto retrograde than it is, for example, to have like, I gotta take my sandals off. It's more common to have Pluto retrograde because it's an outer planet and he's retrograde for like half of the year. And they're more like subtle. It's a much more subtle retrograde, which means that the effect of Pluto, even though retrograde, is not like felt right now as a heavy retrograde, which means that it kind of can feel like all planets are direct and it's all systems go. With the Pluto retrograde, it's more about the internal process of liberating ourselves, which is actually a good thing. And this actual new moon is making a trine to Pluto. It's within, Mercury is definitely making a trine almost exact to Pluto. The new moon is like 3 degrees from making an exact trine to Pluto, which means it's enhancing the energy of going deeper into like the embodied experience, the internal experience that can ultimately, like when you do the clearing inside, when you do like that deep clearing inside, it's going to open the door for you to actually clear everything in your environment. That's why the retrogrades are so cool, because as you do the inner work, you change your environment. When you change inside, you change on the outside. And so that's essentially what like Pluto can invite us to do. Also, Pluto is in Aquarius, which is another air sign. So he's like enhancing this frequency. Pluto also just entered into Aquarius. So we're still like, it's just the baby. We're still in the baby stages of Pluto in Aquarius. And we're definitely feeling huge changes. We also just had the sun make a conjunction to Uranus. And we just went through the darkness to light portal, which is 26 degrees of Taurus to 0 degrees of Gemini. So as Taurus season was ending, we went through this like intense, like, I don't even think this is the word, but Algonian. I just made up a word. Algonian transformation because 26 degrees is algal. But anyways, we have this like, we've entered into the light with 0 degrees of Gemini and the sun making a conjunction to the Pleiades. And now Mercury entering into Gemini and then the new moon in Gemini. And there's another thing that's probably the most important of all of this is Saturn in Aries. Saturn is about to enter Aries in literally like a couple of hours. And it's going to be, Saturn spends about 2.5 to 3 years in one sign. I'm actually going to do a special workshop for Saturn and Aries in the Starseed membership. So if you want to be a part of that workshop, it's included in the membership, and the membership is, it's a week free and then $22 a month if you want to join us. It's actually really, really nice to have the community to go through the astrological year together and to learn about all of these different things. But anyways, Saturn is literally, it's at 29 degrees right now, probably 59 minutes of Pisces. And it's going to enter 00 of Aries, which is huge. That point is the point of the draconic chart. That is the beginning of the beginning of the beginning. One of the most powerful portals. Remember, the 0 degree is a portal. It's everything and nothing. It's infinite possibilities. Saturn is entering this space today, and he's going to be at 0 Aries on Monday when the full moon is actually happening. So there is also Neptune in Aries. So the cool thing is that we've had, up until this point, we had a lot of planets that were in Pisces. And after tonight, there's not going to be any more planets in Pisces. There's going to be the North Node in Pisces, but it's not the same as having a planet in Pisces. So now it's like, now we have the Aries stellium. And yes, Saturn and Neptune are going to go back into Pisces a little bit and then come back into Aries officially. But at least for this specific new moon, they're all going to be in Aries. It's going to be Saturn in Aries, Neptune in Aries, Venus in Aries, and Chiron in Aries. So this Aries stellium is initiatory. This Aries stellium is activating. This Aries stellium is a spark of inspiration. It's like there's a lot of like be in your body, because Aries also has to do with the physical body. It's also the head, but it's like it, because it's the full, it's the moment, 0 Aries, 0 minutes of Aries is like the purest moment where like spirit comes into a body and is born and chooses to incarnate. And it's the purest form of like the ego. Aries is also representing of the ego. It's also Mars, and Mars is in Leo. So he's in a fire sign making trines to Venus and Chiron during this new moon. So it's, again, more, it's passion and it's creativity. But imagine this, it's like the soul decides I'm going to incarnate and like have a journey. And that decision of coming onto the earth, onto the planet, it's ego. It's like it's the ultimate and the purest form of like I am here now. And I, right, there's the I am going to experience life here. And in the 3D, there is a separation. There's a oneness. And so it's like spirit descends into matter. It separates itself. And we are experiencing a little piece of that bigger self. And through our eyes, through the perspective of our eyes, it, right, the one, the oneness, gets to see another part of itself. And that's what connects us all together. Now, when we come into this time-space reality, it's like spirit descends into matter, and then matter wants to go back and ascend to spirit. And it's an oxymoron, because spirit came here to the physical to have a physical experience, but then the physical experience wants to go back to God and back to oneness. So the conundrum is that we end up feeling separate from God. And the whole point is to recognize and realize that you are God. Why? Because God is all. It's everything. Like if you close your eyes, you can feel I am all. It's like the I am stands on its own. I just am. I don't need to answer who I am. I just am. That's the key. But that 0, Aries is the ultimate I am. But at the same time, there's a process in the physical time-space reality because we are bound by time and space in this third dimension. And so it's the illusion of time and space, but still, there it is there. So we're experiencing the world through our perspective, desiring to go back to God, back to oneness, forgetting that we chose to come here and have an individual experience. And the moment you see that, and the moment it finally lands, that's when you actually ascend. And I don't mean ascend by like you disappear into nothingness. I don't mean ascend by like you become better than other people. I'm just kidding. I mean you ascend because you recognize that like it was so simple. It was so simple. You were trying to make it complex, but it was so simple. It was like right in front of your face all the time. If you choose to fully live right here, right now, through your eyes, not anyone else's eyes, through your eyes. And when I say through your eyes, I mean your astrology chart, your life's work, your evolution, your radiance, your purpose, the whole Venus sequence, the whole like pearl sequence, your astrology chart, your human design chart, the fact that you're like whatever you are. I'm a 2-4 mental projector with the right angle cross of consciousness. I came here to share what I see. I came here to share what I know to be true. I came here to structure these crazy like visions that I have and like express them out through my throat in a very consistent way. I came here to learn what it means to be invited. I came here to learn what it means to be invited to share. I came here to learn what that feels like. And if I deny that that's what I came here to learn, I'm wasting time. If I deny who I came here to be, I'm wasting my time. And because we get locked in this like karmic loop, I'm just going to have to try it again next time, and try it again next time, and try it again next time. And that's how we get stuck. We're like stuck. Samsara. The wheel of karma. We're like stuck, like going around and around and around and around and around and around and around. It's like, stop. How do you stop that? You fully embody you, your unique design. You fucking own it. That's how. You fucking own it. And I feel like this new moon is about owning it. What's wrong with being you? What's wrong with being you? Why do you have to try to be like somebody else? Another thing, why And these are just hypothetical questions. Why do you feel that other people should be this or that? Because if you are someone who literally feels like somehow you have it right and other people are wrong, you're also missing the point. That's not the point. The point is, the more that you learn to fall in love with your experience, the more that you're not going to give a rat's ass about someone else's. Because it's not yours. That's somebody else's experience. You need to fall in love with your experience. That's the whole point. Imagine yourself as like the one being, bored AF, I'm just kidding, and one day being like, I want to make this interesting. I want to know myself. But in order to know myself, I have to split myself, because the eye can't see itself unless it's in the mirror. So you split yourself, and then the game just becomes too fun. You split yourself again and again and again and again and again, and you're just like, you want to see it all. I want to see it all. I want to see it all. But from our perspective, we have to love our little piece. I keep saying this. It's the same message that keeps coming over and over. I keep getting the same thing. And it's that you have to love your little piece, and you have to learn to be the observer. So I just got back from a trip to Egypt. And I said in the beginning, I'm still processing the experience. My brain is like mush from like what just happened. It was everything. And it was nothing. And it was like all of it at the same time. The highs, the lows, the neutrals. But one of the most powerful things that happened to me during this trip is that I learned to become the observer. And this has been, I swear to God, like it's been a life up to this point in my life, lifelong journey of understanding what it actually means to be the observer. Well, I had a huge experience of that this time. And so I watched even myself. It was crazy. And I watched even myself. And it was funny because there was like this sort of detachment. But it wasn't an unhealthy detachment. It was like there was this smiling Buddha watching, sitting back and watching everything. And like laughing and being really seriously entertained by it all. And it was so fun to watch like that. It was like I was both watching the observer, but also like being in my own, I don't even know how to describe it. This is what I'm saying. Like this was a crazy experience that I am still trying to understand. But one thing that I noticed about myself, that I learned about myself, is that you can choose. Holy moly, you choose. If you get triggered, you choose it. If you don't get triggered, you choose it. If you get caught up in the whirlwinds of emotion, you choose it. If you get up in the shadow, you get like, there's little tornadoes. There's like little tornadoes all around you. And sometimes you're like, you get taken by a tornado and it takes you into the dark depths of the freaking shadows. And it's emotional. And that's why you get trapped, because the emotions feel so real. And it brings up all of, like, it shakes up from inside of you. Like it trembles, it vibrates, it like shakes things up. And so it brings up all this trauma. And it's like all of that, it's gunk. Like it literally comes up because you're supposed to like sweep it, like blow it away. But instead, we're like grabbing it. Like, where are you going? Come back. No. You're mine. And we don't even realize that we're doing it. And then we're like mad or angry or upset, or we're like judging people. If you ever, this is going to be crazy. I don't even know where I'm going with this broadcast. Okay. Every single time you judge somebody, and you're literally judging somebody, when you in your mind are like, this is right and this is wrong. If there's a right and a wrong in your head, you are judging. You are participating in judging. So you can judge. This is crazy. You can judge from a place of feeling righteous. And you can judge from a place of lack of awareness. Either way, it's still judgment. That's the duality, and that's the nature of the world that we live in. But what I watched myself do during this trip, which is tripping me out, is that little Buddha. It's like right behind me, right here. It was like this little Buddha that was like looking around and being like, WTF is going on right now? Like, wow, that person just got triggered. Wow, I just got triggered. Wow, I'm totally judging. What makes me feel that I'm right and somebody else is wrong? That's interesting. Whoa. And like, wow. Oh, they're really getting taken for a ride right now. Man, they got swept up by the freaking shadow vortex, or like the shadow tornado. Like, woo. They got swept up by that one. Like, whoa. Like, oh, dang, that's really intense. That person's going through some freaking heaviness right now. Like, whoa. Like, that was me the entire time. Okay. That was literally me the entire time. And then there was moments where like I got swept up by the tornadoes. And I had my moments of like, what do they call it? Like falling from grace. That's hilarious. And it was all internal. It was all internal for me. And that's why I feel like it was like being the observer was what I learned. I had a massive experience of being the observer, and I saw and I watched it all unfold. And then in the end, it made me realize that what I was just saying about, like, if you have in your mind a belief system that this is right and this is wrong, you have not ascended. That's not ascension. That's not ascension. fucking crazy. It's not. You can do all the work, all the spiritual work, the freaking world. You can like heal, you can release, you can let go of trauma, you can like, you know, do all this work. But if you're like, if you do all the work and then you're sitting over here like, that's why those people that make these memes, who's that guy that he always ends with like the Shakira, la 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 la. He's the funniest thing ever. He's like, am I better than everyone else? And he really shows what I'm trying to say. But if you find yourself being like, it's wrong, that's wrong, and trust me, I've fallen for it, okay? That's wrong, that shouldn't be happening, you know? It's the same frequency. It's just using different thoughts, but it's the same frequency. And it's a hard one. It is a hard one. It is a hard one. And so what I watched myself do was and I asked myself these questions. What if, which is essentially like the Gene Keys and everything, what the Gene Key says is the frequency of divinity transcends dark and light. The frequency of divinity legit transcends shadows and gifts. It ceases to be either of them. They both cease to exist. So if you're in any kind of spectrum of dark and light, or positive light, shadows, gifts, whatever, if your framework for thinking about stuff is in that space, you're still in the duality. Because from the lens of the divine, the divine doesn't judge. And it's so hard to hear that. And I know, because even when I say that, I'm like, but there are some things that are wrong. It's like, well, still, the divine doesn't judge. And I don't mean by, see, we are so attached to like right and wrong that when I say the divine doesn't judge, we get triggered because we're like, no, like I literally, like, no, there are some things that are effed up, that are wrong, that are like legit wrong. And that is not the mind of the divine. Because the divine does not think in terms of right and wrong. We think in terms of right and wrong. We think in terms of right and wrong. You have to get out of your own head to even understand the concept of thinking outside of right and wrong. So unless it's like just, it's beyond the right and wrong. If right and wrong was the frequency, the divine is like nowhere near that. It's way higher frequency. So the divine will go, this thing that you judge as wrong is actually in divine alignment and orchestration. What you can't see is what I see, right? The divine goes, what you can't see, you see this little tiny piece. I see the whole fucking spectrum. I see the whole spectrum of this person's entire lifetimes to get to where they are at right now. And you're judging this one little tiny piece, but you don't have the whole picture. You can't see the whole picture. That's why it's beyond the realm of right and wrong. Fucking crazy, dude. I don't even know where I'm going with this broadcast. Anyways, hopefully I'm entertaining you guys. So This is a powerful new moon. Maybe this is the Saturn in Aries about to frickin' in a couple of hours. Maybe that's where this is coming from. But honestly, that was me during this entire trip. Sitting back, I know it's hard sometimes, but it's the emotions. The emotions are the ones that like trap us. It's lightning. The emotions hold memory. Okay? This is why we're learning to master emotions. Emotional intelligence, part of becoming emotionally intelligent is recognizing that emotions are actual memories. That's why they come with baggage. Ooh, I just saw 55. Emotions they have baggage, you guys. They have baggage. Especially the dense, dark emotion. One of the things that I remember that Matthias taught was when he started to remember his past lives in ancient Atlantis as Shu. What made him remember was the emotions. He started to feel the emotions, especially as that lifetime of his was ending. He felt the emotion of standing in front of the Sphinx, crying, begging God, whatever, hoping and praying that the wisdom, the knowledge would survive the fall of Atlantis. And it wasn't just a thought, it was a feeling, an emotion. And the emotion carried the memory. And he asked his spirit guides, because he was seriously distraught. Why do I have to feel it? Why can't I just remember the lifetime? Why do I have to feel it? And his spirit guides told him, because you won't remember it if it's just a thought. You'll remember if it's an emotion. So every time you get swept up by emotion, there's some kind of a memory there. And if it's a dark, dense emotion, it's probably a not so fun memory. But you also remember the beautiful emotions and the high frequency emotions, the highs. Those are like the ones that we like because they feel really good. And we want to just like be in that space more. Energy and motion. I love that. So that's why we're learning to become emotionally intelligent. Why the 55th Jinki is the place where the mutation is happening in 2027. It's the solar plexus center. So anyways, this new moon is telling us to embody us. What does it mean to fully be you? What does it mean to love yourself? I just posted a meme on Instagram that said, God commanded to love your enemy. And so I obeyed and I loved myself. And God said, love your enemy. And so I obeyed and loved myself. That was so freaking profound. That's why I shared it. Right? It's like mic drop there. So profound. It hit deep, but it made so much sense. The dings. Anyways, this is the moon to anchor yourself. And I don't mean, I mean be in your body. I mean be you, which means you need to like have some kind of awareness. you can live life. So here's what I feel in terms of like this concept of awareness. You can totally go through life without having what we would call like a spiritual awakening or spiritual awareness. That is completely fine. But if you feel called to say this path, it requires awareness, because it's, and I don't like saying higher vibrational frequency because we tend to think higher is better because of the way that we've been taught. It's not better. It's just, it vibrates faster. That's all that it means. It doesn't mean it just, the lower frequencies vibrate slower. The waves are just slower. That's the only difference. The higher frequencies, the waves are faster. They just vibrate higher. It's not better or worse, right? So, but the chakras are vibrational frequencies, right? And the higher vibrational frequencies are the ones that allow us to tap into the one energy, or you could say the divine, you could say like the pineal gland, the pituitary gland. But also you can't really, like, if you like, you have to have them all balanced. You can't just have like a really strong crown chakra. I mean, some people do, but if you're not grounded, it's like you're really not embodying it. Embodying it means like a balance between all of it. I guess you could say guru, from darkness to light. Darkness becomes light, or the balance between the darkness and the light. Yeah, there's some, so this is more fun. There's no going back now. I do agree with you that it's more fun. I think that if here's what I'll say about this. If you're called to this path, it requires awareness. There is an awareness that needs to be, it's part of it, because it's self-awareness. And it's true that there's no going back, because once you cross that threshold, like, there is no way I could go back to like who I was even just a few years ago. There really is no going back. There really is no going back. There is only more awareness. I think it is a circle too, though, because everything is all about cycles. So I think we're also coming back. I wouldn't want to go back either, right? It's like there's also like the awareness takes you on a big loop, and then it always brings you back to the beginning, and then starts all over again. So it's like, yeah, spiraling up. I love that. Yes. It's awareness loops that keep going. So there's like layers, there's like different layers. But anyways, all I'm trying to say is the awareness that if you're on this path and you are quote unquote becoming aware, self-aware, like, it's okay. You don't have to be self-aware. Not everyone on this planet came to be self-aware. But if you happen to be, you're starting on the path, you're well on the path, if you happen to have, like, when we say we woke up, like this whole woke thing, it's not what they mean. Being awakened just means you became self-aware. It's kind of like they say like, oh, the AI is sentient now or whatever. What does that mean? It means it becomes self-aware. So we as humans can become self-aware. And if we become self-aware, you can't go back to sleep. It's like the Matrix, right? You unplug yourself. You can go back, but do you really want to? I mean, some people might. Some people might. And you know what? That's okay too. And that's like the whole point I'm trying to make is you choose. You're in charge. You're the boss. You are the boss. Because what if, like, remember my song, Who Am I to Judge? What if one day I decide, fuck all this shit. I just want to go have a normal life again. However I perceive what a normal life is. And what if in that decision is when I like find the ultimate answers, right? What if someone, it happens for them the opposite way? So again, I guess what I'm trying to say is that we need to learn to be the observer and to observe, plainly observe, and not try to like change. Like, the worst thing I think we can do is judge ourselves. But if we judge others, it's because we judge ourselves first. And it always starts right here. So if there's any judgment at any point, you're engaging in any kind of judgment, whether you feel you are righteous in the judgment that you are making because of blah, 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 blah reason, doesn't matter. You are engaging in judgment. And that by nature is not. The lens of the divine doesn't judge. So I don't know. Are we here to mimic? Are we here to learn what it means to stop judging? I mean, apparently, like a lot of the stuff in the Gene Keys is here to tell us that. To transcend both the shadow and the gift. And I personally believe that it's the transcendence of judgment altogether. It's the judgment card. It's the last judgment where we will no longer judge. This is in the fifth agreement. Don Miguel Ruiz. The transcendence of judgment. Now that's a powerful thing to explore. So let me read about the city. The 16th gene key goes from shadow of indifference, gift of versatility, city of mastery. The 16th city, mastery, the miracle cities. See, I love it. If we briefly review the 16th gene key, we recall that it is rooted in indifference, caused by lack of enthusiasm and the inability to identify with what you are doing. No matter how skilled you are, if you don't have this enthusiasm, you cannot attain the next level, which is talent. Furthermore, talent is something that must be earned over a period of time, no less than 7 years, and its natural expression is versatility. You could say that skill is a vertical approach to learning, in that you have to focus great attention in one direction, and your whole impetus is to understand and learn as much in that field as you can. Versatility marks a shift in frequency in your whole being because it opens up the horizontal field at the same time as the vertical. You are no longer fixed to a single discipline, but begin to view life at a holistic level, seeing how all systems and techniques interconnect in a truly integral way. You can thus apply your talent across the whole spectrum of human sciences and arts without the dogmatic limitation of being tied to one single direction. At this level, you are tapping the natural laws behind all life processes, so your talents can be transferred easily between disciplines, even those that appear far apart and unrelated. For example, you might be an artist, but your talent also embraces business. At the gift level, your talent is based upon the knack of not identifying with a single set of skills. At the Siddhic level, a paradox opens up before us. We have gone from lack of identification at the shadow level to identification with the skill as you approach the gift level, and then a loosening of that identification in order that you become truly versatile. At the Siddhic level, the issue of identifying with what you are doing is no longer relevant. At this heightened level of consciousness, your identity is erased and you become an empty vessel for life. Ooh. This is this new moon. An empty vessel for life. Here, all learning ends and there are no more levels. With talent and even versatility, there are still levels. Even the greatest pianist can still improve and expand. However, with the 16th city of mastery, the whole game of expanding or evolving, either horizontally or vertically, is over. The 16th city is a relatively rare expression in the world because it encompasses what some would call magical abilities. The blueprints behind every aspect of human genius come through the 16th city, from the arts right through the sciences. Just as the DNA in every cell of your body contains the blueprints for all life, so the 16th city activates the blueprints of mastery for all human fields of endeavor. The implications of this are really quite staggering. Consider an example from the field of music. Rachmaninoff's third piano, I probably butchered that, third piano concerto is considered one of the most difficult and awesome pieces of Western classical music in existence. To learn to play this piece of music takes years of sustained practice and discipline, even if you have genius talent. However, a kinesthetic knowledge of how to play this piece is actually already contained in every single human being alive. The 16th city allows direct access to this and all other kinesthetic knowledge, which means that if the 16th city is activated, you could play this piece of music as well as any piano maestro who ever lived without ever having touched a piano in your life. This next sentence. Oh my God. The 16th city has an interesting connection to the 35th city of boundlessness. That's my life's work. And on closer analysis, one can see why. As one of the miracle cities, the 35th city's sole purpose is to expand the average human's perspective on life exponentially. It testifies that nothing is impossible if you can only move your mind out of the way. In traditional Eastern approaches to higher consciousness, the cities are understood in a different context from this work on the 64 gene keys. There, the cities are traditionally seen as special powers that arise as obstacles on the path to true realization. This kind of language actually derives from the cluster of cities in the human genome designed to manifest miracles and special powers. Obvious examples are the 14th, the 16th, 35th, and 60th cities. When you attain a Siddhic state, you attain a kind of cosmic versatility, and your destiny continues to unfold according to your genetic predispositions. Much confusion exists in spiritual circles concerning the so-called lure of the cities. Those who have spoken out against them may also have been speaking through their own limitations. There is absolutely nothing wrong with the special powers of the cities. In fact, they are an essential part of our evolution. The enthusiasm inherent in the 16th gene key also has its manifestation in the city where it shows its true nature. The word enthusiasm derives from the Latin and Greek meaning to be possessed by the breath of God. As the divine currents flood human beings, shattering their identification with the world of form, so God has her play through us. And one of the forms of this play is to display mastery over creation. It is impossible to be indifferent to a miracle. Oh my God. And this is the highest expression of the 16th city. This is fucking amazing. It is impossible to be indifferent to a miracle. And this is the highest expression of the 16th city. After all, if God is not allowed to have fun, then who is? The special powers of the 16th city have only one purpose: to be of service to the whole, even if that manifests as a form of cosmic entertainment. This is the best. True mastery is to have absolutely no individual power whatsoever. It is to merge with the divine will, and therefore become a master of nothingness. This, this is the ultimate theater and the highest of all arts. And at the same time, it has the incredible power of pulling humanity out of its indifference. That's just insane. That's just insane. All right. 16th gate. The gate of skills, enthusiasm. Quick reference theme. This is human design lens. People who can never have enough skills. They are skilled at having many skills. This gate represents the hosting of artistic or scientific skill through repetition. These people have the enthusiasm to experiment with a repetitive process that can lead to mastery. In order to attain mastery of any skill, these people have to be fully identified with that skill. This is the dancer who can become the dance, transcending their skill. This is the gate where both logical formula from the mental field and intuitive solutions from the spleen are tested and verified. Without the 48, these people may not know what to experiment on. They may have skills, many skills, but they are always looking for depth and knowledge of the 48, which provides the foundation to which the skills can be applied. The 48th gate, the gate of depth, the well. People born with the wisdom so natural, they rarely see it in themselves until someone asks. The channel of the wavelength. You have the design of talent, but this talent has to be earned through constant repetition and gradual improvement. Wait to find the one thing you can give yourself to totally. Being the creative channel of the understanding circuit, the 4816 is about mastery. These people are here to find something in life that they can practice over and over until they have refined and mastered it. Logical creativity is different from individual creativity. This channel represents talent that has to be earned by hard work and commitment. If these people are able to stay with their process, their recognition will always finally come. Thus, mastery always depends on continual repetition, but it eventually becomes art when it is liberated from technique. It takes the body 7 years to learn any technique deeply enough in order to transcend it. Ooh. As a channel of the understanding circuit, the talent in this channel is here to be shared with the collective. Such talent is most natural when it has a wider purpose that improves the world in some way. This is also the channel of carrying skills. So essentially, both of these modalities are speaking of something very important: the transcendence of the skill, where you literally become the dancer. So you have to become the dancer. That's essentially become the dance, right? Like fully drop in. What is the dance? You are the dance. Holy shit. You are the dance. Your astrology, your human design, your gene keys. That's the dance. And you have to become the dance. Be the forest. I love that. And that's why I believe it can be so important, if you feel called, to learn about all these things about yourself. Like, I can tell you that knowing my charts is the key to the surrender. I literally don't even worry about manifesting anymore. Why? Because I'm a projector. All I ever do now is wait for the invitation, because I know that I have come into alignment. I feel it. I feel it in my freaking bones, okay? And all I have to do is just close my eyes and feel the gratitude that lives inside of, like, feel the little vibration, the unsung Waheguru. Every cell of my being vibrates with the frequency of the universe. I am that I am. I am a 2-4 mental projector with the right angle cross of consciousness, here to share what I know. I'm here to wait to be invited to share. And I trust that so fully. I trust that so fully that I do not worry if I do not get invited, because it was not meant to be. And when I do get invited, I thank the universe. I thank God for the alignment that has arrived in my life. Because I know that every time I get that right invitation, it's the door that opens that I can actually walk through. And then I'm on to the next thing. And then we're on to the next thing. And every right invitation that I say yes to brings me closer into the ultimate alignment of my own unique design. And I literally had a conversation with Dawn earlier about this really cool idea that we had. And I legit said to her, I said, don't worry, it's happening. I don't have to do anything, but just let the universe figure it out how. And in those words, what I'm actually saying is, if it's meant to be, it'll be. And if it's not meant to be, it won't be. And either way, I'm not going to be stressed about it at all. If it's meant to be, I'm going to be in that awe and surprise and like, I will not be indifferent to the fucking miracle. I will not be indifferent to the miracles in my life. And I literally say this all the time. This is a Yogi Bhajan quote. I don't believe in miracles. I rely on them. My life's work is wormholes and miracles. I don't believe in miracles. I rely on them. Miracles are my life. And when the miracles come, I just like close my eyes. I usually open up my palms and I receive it. And that's literally the key that opens up the door. And then I sit in gratitude and joy until it's time for the next door to open. That's what I wish for everybody. And I'm not saying that I am perfect. I'm not saying that like I don't fall off the freaking wagon every once in a while. No, I do. Trust me. I do. But now I can like come right back up. It's every time it's a little bit easier. And every time I have to go through that process of like, what do you want? What do you want? What do you want? What do you want? You are the architect. You are the boss. what do you want? Nobody else is going to give you what you want but yourself. And if you don't know what you want, then you got to figure that out. If you don't know what you want, then what are you doing? If you don't know what you want, how can you find your path to the clarity of what you want? When I say what do you want, I mean what are you going to choose? It means wake up, you're choosing it. What do you want? Wake up, you're choosing it. What do you want? Do you want this or do you want that? And if you want that and not this, then you need to choose that and say, that's what I want, so that's what I'm going to choose. But if I say I want this and I'm choosing this, then you're not clear. There's no clarity there. And that's, I guess, what I'm trying to say. And I feel like this freaking new moon is insane. It's insane. If this energy is coming through for this, then the light thing is crazy. It's a big one. Anyways, whatever that was, it was. That's what I'll leave you with. What do you want? Do you want to stay feeling shitty? You want to hold on to that thought? Do you want to keep feeding? Right? What are you giving your energy to? Because what you're giving your energy to is what you want, what you're wanting. And that's what makes it clear. When I ask myself, what do you want? Do you want to stay here in this space? Do you want to just milk this fucking shit right now? This negativity? Do you want to milk it? Then milk it. And love it. And just freaking go down that rabbit hole and freaking go into the dark, deep depths of the freaking gnarliness and just own it. But if that's not what you want, and I've gone down that rabbit hole many a times, but if that's not what you want, then stop going there. It is that simple. Stop it. Just stop. You can just stop and take a breath. And the thing that is the most, it like softens the energy is everything is okay. It's okay. Everything's okay. You're okay. You're okay. Everything is okay. Everything is perfect just the way it is. Everything is perfect just the way it is. So, anyways, what a crazy broadcast. I don't even know anymore. Anyways, thank you for listening. I'll be back on Monday. I think on Monday. So Monday is the new moon. I think maybe I'll go live, and I usually do the weekly reading, but I think we'll just do the broadcast and I'll do the reading. I'll do the Akashic reading. I don't think I'll be able to play music because I don't have my system, but I'll do the Akashic reading and at least we'll get that. I am doing my best to still go live. And this is a huge thing for me. You guys know me. It's like I love being home. I have a whole freaking studio at home. Yeah, this was crazy. I have a whole studio at home and I can't be there right now because I'm here at my mom's house and I have to deal with what I've got. And this is what I've got, my laptop. And so I'm going live. I don't even have my good camera. Okay. I'm just going with it. Because that's another lesson. It's like it doesn't need to be freaking perfect. It just needs to be. Ooh, that was a good one. We should end it on that one. Anyways, thank you for listening to my crazy ass. And have an amazing weekend. If I don't see you on Monday, then have a beautiful new moon. Make sure you have the notifications turned on because when I go live like this, I don't think I can schedule things. I mean, I'll try to figure out how to do that. I think I can actually schedule things. Anyways, I might just like go live. So if you have the notification bell turned on, then you'll get the notification of when I go live. Thank you, 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 thank you. Satanam, 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 Satanam. Waheguru. I will see you guys all soon. Satnam.